Hey, fourth grade, I am Mr. Crocker, and today we will be talking about the third and final branch of the government. So we already talked about the legislative branch, which writes and votes on laws, okay, made of two groups called the House and the Senate. Then we talked about the executive branch. That was the second branch. That's the president and the vice president and his cabinet, and they carry out the laws. They also get to appoint people, negotiate treaties, and he is the head of the armed forces, the commander in chief. Today, we will be talking about the judicial branch. Judicial has a weird name. Okay, so here we go. This is the part where I say words while I open up the presentation. Okay. So the judicial branch, here we go. The judicial branch of government is made up of the court system. It's the courts. Courts. Okay. There is the Supreme Court and other federal courts. The Supreme Court is the highest court in the United States and is the head of the judicial branch. So by being the highest court, what that means is that if a decision is made in a lower court, people can appeal. They can say, I don't agree with that decision. And they go up to a higher court. And there are lots of levels, but at the very, very top is the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court really only handles cases that are very important to the country. Okay. The judicial branch explains the meaning of the Constitution and the laws passed by Congress. It does this by ruling on very important cases. The Supreme Court rules whether something is constitutional or unconstitutional. Okay? It is harder than you might think to color a straight line, meaning it is permitted by the U.S. Constitution. So the Supreme Court is not necessarily hearing cases where they are trying to decide if someone is guilty. What they are doing is they are interpreting the Constitution and deciding whether a law or something that was done in another court is allowable, is something that the Constitution says should be able to happen. Okay, third paragraph. The judges or justices are not elected by the people like the president is. They are appointed. That just means picked by the president, and then have to be approved by the Senate. The president nominates all the Supreme Court members, and the Senate confirms them. They hold their offices for their life, meaning they can only be removed from their position by death, by Congress, or by resignation. It is a very important job to be a Supreme Court justice. So, the justices of the Supreme Court, there are 9 of them. They are picked by a president. The Senate still has to say, yeah, okay, we'll let this guy be a justice. But especially when the president and the Senate are controlled by the same party, most of the president's choices are going to be approved. Okay? They hold their offices for life. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who just passed away, was a justice for a very, very long time. And she didn't stop being a justice until she passed away. Okay. What were some important facts there? So first of all, the judicial branch is the court system, right? It deals with all of the courts and judges and juries and all of the things that happen in courtrooms. Okay. The Supreme Court is the highest court. Okay. So there are lots of different levels of courts in the United States. The Supreme Court is the highest. What do they do? So the Supreme Court and other courts, they interpret the laws by using Constitution. Okay, so they look at the laws and they decide whether or not the Constitution says that they should be allowed, and they also just are dealing with what does this law actually mean? What does it say we are supposed to do? Okay. How do they become justices? Well, they are justices, these judges are appointed by the president. So he gets to pick them. And occasionally the Senate says no, but most of the time he gets what he wants. Okay, what was another important fact? Oh, I think justices keep their job for life. So that, senators are elected for 6 years at a time, and then they have to be elected again. Presidents are elected for 4 years at a time, and then they have to be elected again. Supreme Court justices just stay forever. So that's pretty important. Some of them are justices for a very, very long time. And it also means that when the president gets to pick one, it's a big deal because that person could be a justice for 30 or 40 years. Okay, what is the judicial branch? It's not the highest court because it's a branch, not a court. This is what it does. Not allowed by the Constitution. Okay, so the judicial branch evaluates the law. How are Supreme Court justices nominated? That was definitely in our article, and we talked about it. By the people's vote, an election, or by the president. Oh, I'm sorry. These are choices, and we talked about this. It is in the paragraph. How do Supreme Court justices get their jobs? They are not elected by the people. They are appointed by who? Okay. Supreme Court justices are not elected by the people. True or false? I feel like we just talked about that. Why is the judicial branch important? The judicial branch is important because, and then tell me something that they do. Because they serve for life. Because they get to determine whether any law is constitutional or not. Because they make important decisions. There are just a lot of things you could say about why they are important. Okay. I hope that made sense. I hope that clears up a little bit about what the different branches do. Remember, in our government, there are 3 branches. The legislative, they write and vote on laws. The executive, that's the president. Okay, the president carries out the laws. And then the judicial. And the judicial is the branch that looks at the laws that have been passed by Congress and the president, and they say, yeah, okay, this law follows the Constitution. This is a good law. We can keep doing this. Or sometimes they say this law is not okay. Like when we had segregated schools, when there were black and white schools, the thing that ended that was a Supreme Court decision. They decided that you could not actually have separate schools that were equal. And people are supposed to be entitled to equal, right? Equal public education. They decided people weren't getting that, and that was why they ended segregation, which started with the Supreme Court. So they do some pretty big things. Okay. 3 branches of government. Have a nice day.